Alright, y'all. Okay. Far away. Feel like I'm now. Hold on, let me do this. There we go. All right, y'all. Hey, hey. What's going on, y'all? Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hey, Hazel. Y'all. Y'all, what are y'all doing on this day? I had to like prepare myself real quick because we're gonna do some makeup while we talk about this crazy, crazy story that went on some years ago, but it's still being discussed pretty widely. So we're gonna talk about it. We are in the month of December, y'all. We are in the last month of the year. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? After this live, I'll come back. I'm gonna come back live for just a little short stint, and I'm pretty much gonna be like, it's gonna be like a pretty casual live. I don't know what's going on with my voice right now, but I'm gonna come back. It's gonna be a pretty casual live, and basically we'll do some updates, and we'll just talk a little bit, and that sort of thing. So anyway, this is gonna be specifically about the Turpin kids. Okay, so let me pull up my information. Now, where is my pen? I need my stylus, y'all, because these curved nails don't be doing me no good, okay? So let me get my stylus. Of course I got to get up. Of course I do. And this should be for the only thing. So we're going to get up for the stylus and then, oh, and my water. And then we are going to go on and get ready. Now, you guys, I am home today. As you can see, I worked from home today. I had brought my work home yesterday because I was not sure what was going to happen with my car situation. So I'm having car issues right now, but it's all good. I did my work from home today, and that's the best that I could pretty much do with what I had. So it's not only my car, it's my son's car too. So it's kind of like, oh my God, like both of our cars are messed up at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Not a good look at all. But anyway, so the Turpin kids. So if you're not familiar, let me pull up my stuff and then we'll get in the conversation so I can get into the space. I know a lot of people are live right now. Well, a lot of stuff going on, but it's all good. We got to do us over here. So shout out to y'all who are watching. I appreciate you so very much. I hope your day is going amazing. You know, it's the middle of the week. It's the last month of the year. So I just hope that y'all are having a good, y'all, hold on. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. Hold on. What the fuck? Y'all, I am slow. Stop! Okay. Where? Shit, y'all. Shit. Damn it. Come on. Okay, my bad, y'all. Freaking my bad, y'all. Why ain't nobody tell me I had their name spelled wrong? I had everything wrong. Hey, niece, what's going on? Hey, Zo Chanel, happy hump day. Okay, y'all. So, yes. So, we're home today, but I had to do my work first, okay? I was going to come on here and do like a get ready with me, like getting ready for work from home type thing, but I'm like, nah, because my ass will be on here and not, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to go ahead and get my work done and, do what I'm supposed to do and shit. This is what time we ended up with. So this is what we, and then I went ahead and got stuff done in my house too, but I still need to mop my kitchen floor and I got a couple more dishes. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so Turpin, the Turpin kids. So if you're not familiar, there is a story about 13 children, all by a woman and a man, husband and wife. Okay. These two individuals met when they were very young. The husband, he was older. He was older than the woman, and supposedly the family that his parents or his family was like a well-known or well-to-do family in their area or in their town. So even though I want to say she was like 16 when I want to say she was 16 when they got married, the parents, her parents, and everybody was okay with it, um and went ahead and gave their blessing because they figured like, look, they gonna see each other anyway. At least they'll be married, I guess, that sort of situation. Plus the family was supposed to be like a good family. He was supposed to be like, ooh, he's a good catch. So they went ahead and blessed and gave their blessings and let her go ahead and get married. Now, just a little backstory to her. Now, I watch these true crime shows and things like, yes, the lady with 13 kids. hmm So I watch a lot of these true crime shows, and there seems to be something going on where there's I don't know if people are buying other people's channels or something, but there's this thing where there's all of these like older like crime shows that are like these series are being uh uploaded on these channels that are like weird names and things like that, but needless, but I've been watching them, right? So, and they locked their kids up and they couldn't go to school. That is them. That is them. Hey chef, how you doing, babe? um so yeah, so but anyway, so I'm watching these shows. So I came across the show where there was a woman telling her story. So there's this show called I Lived with a Killer. And so there's all of these different people, all types of different stories where or I no, I lived with evil or something like that. Something like that. I lived with evil, lived with a killer, some shit like that. Or evil lives here. That's what it is. Okay. Evil lives here. Me too. That's what's up, Chef. I'm glad you're enjoying your day, babe. So evil lives here. All right. So evil lives here. So basically it's all of like there was even Griselda Blanco's son. He told his story. There's a lot of different stories. Okay. Some people are There's going to be murder involved. There's going to be horrendous crimes involved, right? Horrific crimes, I should say. So there's a show where this woman is telling her story, and she's telling her story about her abuse, her childhood abuse. Okay, her grandfather specifically was sexually abusing her, and he would do nice things for her and everything, but then he wanted something in return. Okay. Family let him have his way pretty much. I want to say that they really didn't. If I'm correct, I don't think she really told anybody about it. Matter of fact, did she tell? Hold on, let me see something. Let me pull up my notes. Either way, it was done. She was being abused, okay? I want to say she did say something, but her mother was just like, they kind of like put it off or what, or just kind of, didn't believe her or didn't, take it seriously or whatever. Um, Let me see. So the sister, the sister who had all the kids, she was the older sister. And so one time there was a time where she was right there. He was asking the young girl, come here, come back here with me. And her older sister stepped in and said, no, let her stay. I'll come with you. And so she went. So she knew what was going on, and she was trying to protect her younger sister for the most part. Um, it is gonna be good. Me too. The ID channel, I just love it. I love it. Okay, 4 episodes. Okay, let me pull this up real quick, y'all. And I'm gonna upscale my technology and stuff like that, y'all. Just give me a little second. When I get my setup, it'll be so much better when I can like play clips of stuff and things like that. But we're just gonna have to do this with me and my skipping around and all of this stuff right now. Thank y'all for liking the video. The mom was sending the girls to be messed with by the granddad. Is that what it was? Let me see. So let me see if I can get her specific episode instead of trying to sift through. Um Dang, I don't think I can. Where's she at? Well, either way, yeah. So, but right. So well, anyway, I know the mother knew. The mother knew. So that was like she could have, that was her daddy. She could have, maybe she, how, what happens when, they get older, man. It's one story on here. We gonna talk about it, y'all, but we gonna kind of just keep it in line with who we talking about. But it's one story, y'all. Like, oh my God, you just never know what's going on in somebody's house. You just don't. The dad was giving them out money. Ooh. All right. So, ooh, we. Well, anyway, y'all. So that is kind of like yeah, because so the sister did tell, like, so the sister come on now. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this about the sister. Let me just say this before I even go into the Turpin kids and their situation, what's going on with them, because we're gonna get into it. 1111, thank y'all. We are going to get into where they are now and what's going on with them now, because that's a mess in itself. But anyway, back on up. So yes, the sister told her story, and she actually told it on multiple platforms, right? So she has told her story, and not only her story, but also, talked about her sister and stuff like that, and her her time with the sister over the years, right? Hazel girl. Um, so the sister, and they suffered the abuse from the grandfather and things like that. Okay. So the sister, the younger sister, she ended up going to college, right? So she goes to college, and she didn't want to go back home for the summer. So she didn't want to go back home for the summer. So she calls her older sister. Her older sister is out, married. She already got 4 kids at this point. At this point, she only has the 4. So, she's like, "Can I come stay with you for the summer? I could help you out with the kids, or whatever." Um, and so, her older sister, of course, obliged and said, "Yeah, come on." So she said right off the bat, from the first night, she just knew like something was off. Like she just said it was not her sister that she knew. It just was not her sister that she knew. Okay. She I'm about to listen to. Okay, babe. Um Chanel, did you ever send me that link? You didn't ever sent it. Girl, I need me a second job. Especially now. I gotta buy me a car. I'm gonna have to just break down and just do it, y'all, and just say I'm gonna have to just do it. I should have did it last year. But anyway, I digress. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. See, this is 11:11 again. Okay, I'm getting on the right track. I'm sorry. I'm getting on the right track. Whew. All right. So, y'all, this is why I be needing to do uploads and stuff because I be all over the place. But anyway, so she goes. So she said when she first went, the first day, as soon as she got in the car, she just knew. Like she said, her sister was just different. Just wasn't the sister that she remembers, right? So basically, first day, they go to a damn casino, and they go to a casino. The kids are in the car with them. They picked her up, got her. They all in the car. They pull up at the damn casino, and her sit here with the kids real quick. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. And she's like, "Well, can you just take us home and whatever, and just take us home? You want to stop here now? Like, and with the kids, whatever." And she like, "Yeah, we'll be right back. We're only going in, coming out." They done fell asleep in the car and every damn thing. Then fell asleep in every damn thing. Okay, they in the car, her, the kids, they just out there in the parking lot, um, waiting on them to come out. She wake up, it's daylight, and she just wake up to them getting in the car. And they're like, she's like, "It's the next day. Like, you left us out here all night." Like that, she didn't even realize it because she was asleep herself. The kids are asleep. The kids probably was used to it. So anyway, that was the first night. And so she said, right off the bat, she just, had an issue. But whatever, she's just like, okay, whatever, maybe they don't get to get out much, whatever. They got the kids, blah, 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 whatever. So they go home. As soon as they get in the house nasty as hell. House is nasty as hell. So as soon as she get in there, she's like, "You want to clean up a little bit, or come on, let's clean up, let's talk, let's catch up." So she's like, "Yeah, we can," or whatever. So she said, like, for the first few days, that's what they spent the time, like, they was cleaning up and straightening up and that sort of thing or whatever. And she just said for those first few days, like, she just automatically just felt bad for the kids and just thought things was weird and shit like that, because the kids never came out of their room. They was always just made to stay in their room. Even if they would like peek out or whatever, they wouldn't talk. They did not eat at the table with them. The adults would sit at the table, they would eat, and then she said she would call the kids down one by one and allow them to eat. And basically, and when they sat down, they couldn't even just get into their food. They had to wait until she said, "Okay, go ahead." So she just said it was real off. It was a very much so controlling, just weird ass environment. And but and when she did say something, she would say something like, can't they all come down, or aren't the kids gonna eat with us, or just whatever. And she would just say, don't ask me about my kids, let me do this, basically, right? So, so she kind of just stayed out the way. Now, while she's there, during the summer, she gonna be there a few months. So she told her, like, there's some rules you gotta follow. Like, you gonna get a job. So you're gonna get a job. You can't tell nobody, like, you can't be friendly with nobody. Don't talk to nobody. Don't tell nobody where you stay. Don't bring nobody to my house. Like, none of that. Like, basically, go to work, make your money, come home, and that's it. And keep your mouth shut. That was the rules. If you break the rules, you out of here. You got to go home. You can't stay here if you don't go by my rules. So she's like, damn, okay. Like, damn, why you so secretive? I just like things that way. We don't need nobody all up in our business. We just we like to be to ourselves. Okay. So that's basically what she noticed about the kids and the upbringing and her sister and the household and all of that shit. That's pretty much, in a nutshell, the sister's observations of what she saw while she was actually in the house with her sister and her husband, while she had her first 4 kids. That was her experience. Now, she did get a job. She got a job. She met a guy. You know what I'm saying? The men are gonna have you, stepping away from the rules. Okay. Telling you right now, you get you a man, you get you a girl. It's amazing what love can do. It's just amazing what them feelings can do, because they're gonna have your ass in trouble. Okay? Hey, Coast World. Hey, babes. They gonna have your ass in trouble. Okay? These damn men, these damn dicks and vaginas and things, they'll have your ass get put out and shit. Leave them alone. Now, she told her sister, don't talk to no damn body. How you get a whole man? And you ain't even supposed to be talking to nobody. The power of the D, right? The power of the D. So, anyway, this girl ain't even supposed to be talking to nobody. She done got a whole boyfriend. She said, fuck what you talking about. Shit, I done seen me a nice little piece of something. You got your man. Shit, why I can't have one? But, so anyway, let me see. Hold on. The dad, okay, wait a minute. My big mama allegedly shot someone for looking at my granny and big auntie in a not so nice. What? Listen, I pray they found healing. I'm about to listen. Okay, I think I would have snapped at my sister if I seen some weird shit. I'm telling you. See, and that's what I'm gonna get into with this sister. Okay, get put out, locked up, marked, all that. Listen, no, your family ain't too nosy. Shit, y'all just it's just about doing the right thing. Like, it's just about looking up. It's about giving a fuck. You know what I'm saying? She ain't give a fuck. I'm sorry. The sister ain't give a fuck. So she got her a man, right? And so she is talking to the guy. Now, the sis, you didn't miss it. You didn't miss it, Cole's World. No, you didn't. I missed it. Okay. That's who missed it. You didn't miss it. So basically, she's standing outside the workplace, talking to this guy, and gave him a hug and a kiss and all that good shit. And the sister catches her, right? So the sister catches her, gets out, and flips the whole fuck out. All right? Like, she wastes no time. She gets out and goes the fuck off, right? So now, mind you, this ain't the first time that she had like pulled up and just sat outside and watched. She been already watching her sister. So it really ain't no telling how many times she didn't already caught her or how long she knew. But she had been already a few times, had been sitting out, kind of just spying on her, watching her to see what she's doing, right? So this particular time, she gets out. This is the time that she chooses to get out and let her know, bitch, I see you. All right, hey, Des, and give me my damn house keys. Give me my keys. You ain't coming to my house. No, you can't have none of your shit. It's a wrap. I told your ass, if you talking to anybody or fucking with anybody or anything, you got to get out. So you got to go. And she left her there. She left her ass right there. Okay. Left her there. Now, dude hadn't left yet. So he's still there. And he comes, comes to her and is like, dang, what the hell just happened, And she's like, I don't know. She's crazy. Like, I don't have nowhere to stay now. She just put me out, took the keys. So, anyway, so he's like, you can stay with me. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. It's all good. So she goes with him. He was living with his parents. So, hey, Sugar Plum. Um, he was living with his parents, so he had to kind of like tell his parents like what was going on and stuff. But they was cool with it. They was like, it's all good. She could stay here. So she stays with them, and 9 months later, they married. They get married real quick. She said that she pretty much thinks she just did it because she was just trying to get away. She didn't had her falling out with her sister. She don't want to be with her family. So she just said, just fuck it. She just wanted to be away from everybody. Now, let me back up just a little bit because I didn't tell y'all that. Remember, she went to go stay with the sister for the summer, right? She was supposed to have been just there for them few months and going back to school. Well, the sister had her missing school. She had missed like a few semesters of school. The sister had her pretty much like when she would call home and talk to her mother and talk to the family, she basically just gave them the excuse, I'm just going to take this semester off. She needs help with the kids and this, that, and the third, so I'm just going to stay here for a little bit longer and help her out, and then I'll go back. So she had did that for at least a couple semesters, right? So not only was she controlling her life as far as while she was staying there the summer, she had her fucking missing school, period, to the point where she wasn't even going at all. She didn't even go back. So she actually didn't go back until after she was married, and they got their own place and stuff, and then she finally went back to school. Um, so she did end up going back to school and everything. Her and her husband ended up, getting married, getting their own place, and just doing their own thing. And that's what she ended up doing for a long time, for years. So that's pretty much the story of the sister. That's where she pretty much stops with living with the sister. No, knowing what was going on, knowing the household and all of that type of shit. She just pretty much went on and lived her own life. And she had a few run-ins with her over the years, and that was pretty much it until the situation happened where the whole country found out about what was going on in her household. Now I just want to say this about the sister. I wouldn't want her to be no sister of mine, okay? She did these are your blood nephews and nieces, and you did nothing. Like, you didn't tell nobody about what you saw. You didn't give a fuck. You didn't report nothing. Like, the house is dirty as fuck. They're not being fed properly. They're locked up 24/7. They're left alone. They're just treated fucked up. Now, I don't know if she witnessed any beatings or anything like that. I don't know if they got to that extent at that point, but you damn sure witnessed them not being able to go to school. They wasn't in school. Said they was homeschooled. They wasn't in fucking y'all look so washed out with this lighting. I'm sorry. I don't know. I think that's a little bit better. But, and I understand, people minding their business. I also understand, like, if you just don't really know what's going on, you you don't want to make problems for anybody, but the kids should always be the priority. Fuck your sister, fuck her husband, fuck getting anybody in trouble. If it ain't nothing to worry about, then once it's investigated and shit like that, it'll be done and over with, closed. And oh well, y'all will have they may have an attitude. Y'all ain't had no relationship anyway, so it ain't like you fucking up y'all relationship with each other. So it's just like, and who gives a fuck if somebody gets mad at you or never speak to you again, if you are bettering or, giving your nieces and nephews a chance to have a better life. Like, period. That's what it should be all about. So we talking about the Turpin kids. Basically in California, it was 13 kids who got rescued pretty much. Well, one of the siblings, the sister, she finally jumped out the window, just got sick of the shit. And they had been in there for almost 30 years. The oldest was 29 years old when they when they finally were rescued. 29 years old. So and that is the oldest one, and that's the one that, the auntie witnessed being not fed and all of that shit way long before she was anywhere near adulthood. you know um so yeah, so I just feel like, number one, if you would have said something way back then, maybe it wouldn't even have been that many kids to had that experience. But outside of that, just period, if she would have had all the kids, like, they would have had a better quality of life, just period. But so that, I just feel like the sister was a coward. I feel like she was more concerned with herself and getting herself away from the shit than anybody else. She said, like, she just felt like she was just trying to get away, so she was with this guy. She just married him. Like, she just was making decisions to save herself. I mean, she did say that for the most part. So I mean, I can't say that she doesn't recognize what she did wrong, but at the same time, it's just like, listen, like, when y'all see shit, stop just letting shit go by. Like, I see so many of these stories where people are right, it's right there in your face. You can have somebody asking for help, you can have shit going on right there in your face, and you just let it fucking go, or just turn the other way. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, people end up dead, people end up abused, people end up scarred for life. We are all put here to assist each other in one way or another. I was just telling my son this the other day. Like, I don't care what you believe in, we are all put here to lean off of each other in one way or another. Sometimes you're going to be the one to need, and sometimes you're going to be the one to give. But just say something or do something. Like, don't just let shit just go by just because you don't want to be in nobody's business. People just don't want to do anything. If it requires a person to take some type of action, like, that's usually what will stop people from moving forward with something. And it's just a shame, because the thing about it is, if you were in that situation, you would have wanted somebody to help you. you know Actually, let me just say, like, for whatever reason, your sister stepped in when she saw you were getting abused. She turned into the abuser, and that's hurtful. But at the same time, you want to tell the story about how she stepped in, stopping you from being the one to get abused. But what did you do for her kids? What did you do when it was your turn to step in? You didn't step in. You just let the shit go, and you left them in that house to just suffer whatever it was. Even if it wasn't, even if whatever, you could have just thought it was just too controlling. Like, I mean, there's times when you mind your business, and there's times when you say, you know what, let me say something, you know. And when there's kids involved, you should always say something. I don't give a fuck. So that's just what I feel about the sister. Like, now she wants to say, well, I just want them to know that they have family out here that loves them and cares about them. Girl, save those words, okay? Save those words, because you were actually in the house with them when it was only 4, and it turned into 13, and it turned into 29 years of abuse. So save those words, because love ain't shit if you ain't acting on it. Okay, it's just really nice. She probably won't ever see this, but listen, whoever does, just know when there's kids involved, you need to fucking say something. You don't just turn the other way or just save your fucking self, okay? Because they don't have nobody. They need, the thing about it is kids need somebody to fight for them. They didn't ask to be here in the first fucking place. So when they are here, you know, because they are here, somebody needs to fight for their ass. And if it's not going to be the people that brought them into the world, it needs to be whoever's closest to them. Even if that close person is a stranger, the neighbor across the street, the person at the grocery store, the doctor visit, the school, who the fuck ever. Even with the school system, the state, they actually researched different states to see who doesn't check up on you when you homeschool your kids, because every state has things, does things differently. So they actually researched and moved to a state where they could homeschool their kids and not have to turn in, their progress and things like that. The state of California failed them as well, and we're going to get into that even much much further. But that is pretty much a story of the sister's involvement and her experience that she had with them. Girl, you a mess. You are a whole hot ass mess, okay? Like, I hope you don't have any kids. I think she do. I think she do. And I'm sorry, that might be a little bit harsh. It might be a little bit harsh, but none of y'all might not need to have no damn kids, okay? Just leave that whole situation alone, all right? Okay? That was sad case all the way around. It was. Diane says she did witness, she didn't witness, um, didn't witness any type of abuse. I think she was lying. Right. I mean, even like, I mean, yeah, you could be real controlling and have your kids eat one at a time, but they didn't even get to eat a lot. Like, they didn't even just get to eat like that. You know what I'm saying? The house nasty as fuck. They're not in good living conditions. Like, the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just fucked up all the way around. So, and that's just when she just only had four. And that's when those four, they weren't that old either. I mean, old enough where they ass should have been in school. I mean, that's one thing too. Their food intake, they can't go to school, like nothing. Did you even witness the mama homeschooling them? No. You didn't see that mama trying to teach them shit. So I don't, girl, bye. Just bye. Okay. Hey L7. Ain't it AJ? Hey AJ. Yeah, she needed to finish college. Yep. She ended up going back. I be all up in my siblings' business. They hate it. You don't care. I need to know, especially my sister, her brain don't work half the time. No. Oh, those are the kids who were locked in the house for 30 years. Yep. Yep. When my sister takes my nephew's phone away, I be mean mugging. So I couldn't imagine coming to my sister's house, seeing the kids mistreated and not saying anything. Right. So true. Never thought of that way. Listen. Her sister saved her from being abused, and now you just gonna let hers. They could even drop an anonymous tip. Yep, if they don't want to cause friction. Yes, exactly. It could have all been avoided early on. It could have. It could have. So I mean, even years down the line, when I think she had the 12 kids. She didn't have the youngest one, because the youngest one was 2 by the time they got found. Ooh. So, but I think they had 12, and they came to her house, and she said because of the pictures she posted on Facebook and that sort of stuff, that's why she didn't question anything. She thought they was living good and they was doing good and stuff like that. But when she seen them in person and they came to the house, she said they was real skinny, and the sister was like, well, we got real skinny jeans, like we're small like that. When I seen that lady get arrested, she was not skinny or small or none of that shit. Okay, so girl, bye y'all ain't that damn skinny. Girl, she said they just sat there, didn't say nothing, didn't open their mouth. she would she spoke to him. They just pretty much was like hot, high and by type shit or whatever. She said the oldest, she did FaceTime her. She said the last communication that she remembered having was when the oldest one had FaceTimed her or like video messaged her through Facebook one day, and just basically just checking in, catching up or whatever. And she said like the girl was like acting real weird or dry or just scared to answer any of the questions and stuff like that. Just simple stuff, not really anything like too intense. And then she saw her sister standing behind her. And when she saw the sister like kind of like in the background, the girl was like, I gotta go. Well, I love you, gotta go, or whatever, and that sort of thing or whatever. And if you remember when you were in the household years prior, when she was sitting there while you were talking on the phone to your mama, telling them about why the reason that you're gonna skip college for right now, her telling you what to say and shit, your brain didn't go back to that. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me dig into this further. No, she just hung up and went on with her life. Oh, I just really didn't think too much of it. Girl, shut up. Girl, even when she was doing that to you, like, girl, you are grown now. You're grown and you're in her household, and you going from one evil to the next. You don't want to go to this house because you don't want to face what's going to happen there. So over here, you're going to just watch kids be abused. It's like, which one? When are you going to say something? When? You just going to just let her do you any kind of way, let her do her kids any kind of way, and then just going on with your life when you find a way out. So did the kids not go to the doctors and stuff? You know what? I guess not. They never mentioned doctor's visits, and they couldn't have. It ain't no way, because their physical being, their the way that they spoke and thought and just their understanding of things would have never passed a doctor's visit. Never. So they could have never, and their weight and the way that they look, malnutrition, looking years, younger than what they actually are, weight and all that. Yeah, it's no way. So they could not have been going to the doctors. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Which that's kind of crazy too, because it seems like, I mean, I guess people move and shit like that all the time, but if the doctor's office ain't sending records out or transferring records and things like that to another office, it's like, damn. Like, I mean, they send little notices, like, from the dentist, you do for your cleaning and all that kind of stuff. So shouldn't you be sending something like, dang, your kid ain't had a physical in 10 years? You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's one of the things that schools make you do. Schools make you, go get physicals and, through certain periods of time, go get shots and things like that. So, but if they were in a state where they really didn't have to follow up on anything, that's probably why. Y'all are just a mess. A mess. So, yeah. So that is the sister's involvement. Now, listen. Boy, oh boy, listen. That's what we call willful ignorance. Mm. That's definitely the term to describe that. So she didn't think it was weird that the kids in their 20s didn't leave the house yet. Didn't leave the house, didn't do shit. Nothing. Who delivered all those babies? Girl, those are some good questions. Ooh, those are some good questions. I don't think they even said who delivered the babies, matter of fact, because that's what I'm saying. Like, if they went to the doctors initially, if there's records of the kids being born in the world, like, nobody like knows if they've ever had follow-up visits, like if they've ever anything. You know what I'm saying? They've ever like been seen or anything like that. Like, I don't know. That's nobody. I don't even know. Ain't no telling. Ain't no freaking telling. Now, one of the weird things too was this woman had a very bad a very bad spending habit. They were like tens of thousands of dollars in debt to the point where they had ended up filing bankruptcy. The husband made good money. He was an engineer, some type of an engineer, and pretty much made decent money and stuff like that. They had a nice looking house from the outside. I mean, they lived in California for all of those years, and so y'all know California is expensive. And they had all of them kids and stuff, and but the woman had a very bad spending habit. Like she would just buy toys. This bitch was buying toys, clothes, all types of shit like that. Um, Newbie buying all types of clothes and shoes and shit like that and toys and not for the kids. They was just there. Like it was just all brand new stuff, never opened, never taken out the packaging, clothes with tags, like just hanging around in the closets and in bags and all over the house and shit. Like, I mean, from trash to brand new shit, the house was just filled with just shit every fucking where. It was just weird as fuck, okay? So that's another thing because it's like, why the fuck, like, okay, you buying all this shit. Like I could see, I know plenty of people who, go into debt and have mismanagement of funds and shit like that, trying to do stuff for their kids or, living this life that they want to put on this look for the outside world and shit like that. So I understand that, but for your kids to not be able to use anything or touch anything or play with anything, it's just weird. They always had to wear the same clothes for like um they wore the same clothes for, I mean, like could be weeks at a time sometimes. They were only allowed to bathe once a year. They bathed once a year. Type of shit is that? They were beaten, they were chained to the bed a lot of times, like if they so-called behaved, misbehaved, um once a year. Like, oh my god, just weird as fuck. Like, what the fuck type of shit is that? The smell. There was feces and urine stains all in their rooms, because they would just be chained to the beds for days at a time. They wouldn't be allowed to leave out of the room. Misbehaving was stealing food. Like, if they would, go and steal food from somewhere or whatever, there was always food in the house, and the parents ate fast food on a regular basis. Like they ate damn good. And as far as feeding themselves and stuff like that, but the kids were only allowed to eat like very small portions, maybe I think only pretty much once a day. And they were just locked in this room. They were not allowed to stand up. They had to sleep during the day and be up at night. And that was to like so that the neighbors and people just wouldn't really know that there's kids in the house. So if they're, sleeping during the day when everybody else is up around in the neighborhood, then, all they seen was like the parents, for the most part. And then the kids would be up at night when pretty much the neighborhood is sleeping, and they really weren't allowed to even stand up and be walking around and shit just in case somebody's seen them. So that's why their bodies not only from not eating properly, but not really being able to stand up, having to lay down for days at a time, periods of time, stuff like that. It was just weird. I mean, just fucked up. Like the rules fucked up. Okay. It was just really, really bad, y'all. Once a year, and the kids can't use the stuff. Where the parent, no, and then they weren't, not that it wasn't like no drug abuse. They were they used to use, they, how cults like use God and their religion as a reason for things. So they would pretty much use God. They would say how, they would go to hell, or something would happen to them, or they would threaten to kill them, all types of shit. So they were using that. Yep, mental illness. It was definitely mental illness. Definitely mental illness. And that's why I say like she's like somebody that was abused that turned into an abuser herself. Because it wasn't like drugs or anything. It was like, and they would do like they went to Disney World one time. They're all dressed alike and everybody's matching, and they post these pictures on Facebook, so people think that they're doing good and they're living this nice life. The mom and dad had like redid their vows after so many years, and all the kids was there. And actually, that was like the year, within a year of them getting caught, or the kids telling or whatever. It was like that year that they did that. Showing the video, everybody's dressed up. They got a nice little wedding with all their kids, and but no cause, nope, to family to visit or anything. No, nobody was allowed in their house. Nobody visited. No, none of that shit. And the sister, she had said like, after that visit, that one visit that she had, because when she asked about their weight and stuff like that, like they ended up leaving, and that was like the last time outside of the oldest child, video chatting her on Facebook. That was her last interaction, um as far as in person. They had not, she said she never visited anymore after that or anything. So they would put on like these little fake facades, but it wasn't like often. It wasn't real like a lot that they went and did these things as a family. It was just like periodically. And in an interview, one of the older daughters said, she was like, it was just crazy because they would, go on those outings and things like that. And it would be, they were having fun, and it was like nice, and it was like a good time, and their parents were nice, and everything. And she just wondered why. And then when they go home, they got to take the clothes off. It's just right back to how it was. And she just was, would wonder in her head, like, why can't we just be like this all the time? And she just didn't know. Once they got into that house, it's like, party's over. Party is over. Take that shit off, get in that room, and it's a wrap. And that's how that was. So this is how their life went for 25 years. Their oldest child was 29 at the time of the police coming to the residence. Um, they had 13 children, so from 29 to 2 were the ages of the children. Um, yeah, and so basically what happened was, like I said, the kids were up at night. At the time, at this particular night, 3 of the kids were chained to the beds. Um, there was a phone that didn't have any service, but if you don't know, if you have a cell phone that does not have actual service but is still able to come on, to turn on when you charge it, you can always dial 911, always. Okay, whether it has service or not. That's any cell phone anywhere. Okay. So hey, love in my hair. Their dogs were treated better than their own children. Yes, they had dogs that ate, and yes, yep, yep, had animals that were treated better. Sure did. Just sad as fuck. So, the 17, she was 17 at the time, and she just went for it. She just went for it, y'all. She said, fuck this, and hopped out the window. Hopped out the window, ran for her motherfucking life with that phone, and dialed 911. And I'm gonna play, matter of fact, let me play the 911 call for y'all. Hold on, let me play the 911 call. Mm. All right, hold on 1 second. Okay, here we go. Stuff in my hair. You know it's an emergency when someone hops out the window, girl.
On Friday, released
from her suburban house of horrors in California.
Okay, I live in a family of 16 people, and my parents are abusing. They abuse us. And my 2 little sisters right now are chained up.
And how many of your
siblings are tied up? 2 of my sisters, 1 of my brothers.
How are they tied up, with rope or with what?
With chains. They're chained up to their bed.
Inside Edition's exclusive video of conditions inside the house confirms everything Jordan describes in the call, first obtained by ABC News.
We live in stilts, and sometimes I wake up and I can't breathe because how dirty the house is.
When was the last time you had a bath?
I don't know, almost a year ago.
Here's Jim Murray.
Jordan's bold and courageous act exposed all of the horrors inside this house.
No, I want the whole 911 call. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Hold on.
If they're over there, why?
Cookie. Hold on, y'all.
New developments. Cana.
But asking the using and torture 911 address.
The person.
Dispatcher, she does days before her harrowing the family's dogs. It
Damn
shows
it.
the grime smudged.
Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Hold on. I should have had it. Veronica, Dolly. Hey, y'all. Hold on, y'all.
It's the pic.
See a lot into them, And with her, it's just like she was dead inside.
For money to live on. And that's how it is. I mean, I don't like saying it like that for a while. And we would make comments. I remember making the comment that they were all so little.
Not an isolated case. JC separating.
Hold on, y'all. Damn it. Dang, I want y'all to listen. I'm going to find it. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, because I didn't heard it. Hold on.
A chilling 911.
Starving. They're publicly. Sometimes I wake up. Was desperate to climbing an eating break.
All right, hold on. That's not it either. They just like reading parts of it.
Today, the process. Their case. It was just plain. They abuse us. And notes from the courtroom, the 17-year-old told.
All right, hold on, y'all. All right, here, let me just go to where I heard it. Hold on.
Before we get into today's video, I did want to let you guys know that this video is for educational and...
Okay, hold on. She didn't... Wait a minute. Let me find... Okay, here we go.
Before we get into today's video, I do want to let... Used it and she got bullied.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's see. Oh, she just doing clips and stuff too. Dang, y'all, I can't find it. Well, let me just do this. Let me, and she look crazy as hell, y'all. Like, she is a weirdo. Okay. Oh, that's, dang, that's weird. Let me see if I can Google it. Forget YouTube. I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. Thank y'all for liking the video.
Help. This is 911. 911 emergency. What are you reporting? Help. This is 911. Do you have an emergency? I just got away from home because I live in a family of 15. Okay? Can you hear me? And we have abusing parents. Did you hear that? Okay, how did they abuse you? Okay. They hit us, they like to throw us across the room. They pull our hair, they yank out our hair. I have my two little sisters right now are chained up. Okay, how old are you? I'm 17. What's your name?
A second dispatcher picks up.
Hello? Oh yes, I'm still here.
I was actually on the road because I didn't even know about the sidewalk. You're supposed to be on the sidewalk, but I never been out there.
What's your address? Okay, you gotta give me a minute. It's gonna take a while. I've never been out. I don't go out much, so I don't know anything about the streets or anything.
Does anybody at the house take any kind of medication?
I don't know what medication is.
Oh, shit. They done turned it off. I want to hear the whole thing. Hold on, y'all. I was on the Australia one. Hold on, let me go back. Okay, okay, here we go. Where you at? What you say? Wait a minute, what you say? Okay. Yeah.
By big yards.
Australia.
This
Okay.
is another house of horrors in this sad, sordid tale of the Turpin 13. But the Pleasantville, where working class...
It's like she was dead inside. And she was kind of had like a smirky grin. That really made me mad.
Hello?
Watch this.
where working class mums and dads
Here, let's
try
just
to
listen to
achieve
this,
the
y'all.
all-American dream.
But I'm gonna show y'all her picture.
Or so you think. Under this roof, in the middle of it all, lived a secret depravity. The worst of human behavior, thinly disguised as...
She looks so different. You know, you can look at someone in their eyes and you can kind of, you know, see a lot into them, you know. And with her, it's just like she was dead inside. And she was kind of had like a smirky
see her?
grin. That really made me...
Subjected to repeated abuse, torture, and starvation by the very people they should have trusted most. Their parents, David and Louise Turpin.
They began to be tied up. First with ropes, and then using chains and padlocks.
What police found behind this closed door is beyond comprehension. Children chained to their beds, others starved to near skin and bone. A torture chamber covered in filth and the stench of rotting animals.
The abuse and severe neglect intensified over time and intensified as they moved to California.
But according to the person who knew Louise Turpin best, her sister, Teresa Robinette, the horrific truth of this tragic situation can be traced back to a family secret that turned her once naive sibling into a cruel, sadistic psychopath. The circumstances of her childhood are pretty grim.
Yeah.
How much of an impact do you think that's had on this outcome?
Hey, Veronica, babe. Hey, Burrow. Hey, Spicy.
In my heart, I feel like a big part of it.
You are?
You hear people say, you know, sometimes the abused can become the abuser, but I'm so angry with her right now. It's hard for me to give her any excuse.
Girl, you did it too.
You know, when I think about Grandma's house, I can still picture it the way it looked when she was alive.
Teresa and her brother, Billy Lambert, rarely come back here to their hometown of Princeton, West Virginia. Despite its natural beauty, it will always be the birthplace of the cycle of abuse that has forever tormented their family. So this is where it all began for you?
Yes.
Where it all started. And this is the house that you and Louise were brought up in?
Yeah. This looked like a happy home on the outside. Inside, it was miserable.
For you then, being here now,
It's sad.
does it evoke memories of love or anxiety?
Hurt. I'm sorry.
Sister, ain't it though?
They must run very deep.
I wasn't gonna cry.
You okay? For Teresa, the family home in Princeton is the original House of Horrors. If ever there was any defense of Louise Turpin's future abusive behavior toward her own children, this is it. As little girls, she and Teresa were repeatedly sexually assaulted by their grandfather. And worse still, their own mother condoned and encouraged it.
Louise went through the same thing we went through with my grandfather, which was probably the darkest, hardest thing for any of us girls to deal with.
Your grandfather abusing you?
Oh yeah, bad. My mom would take us to him daily. She was pretty much selling us for money to live on. And that's how it is. I mean, I don't like saying it like that. It breaks my heart. But it is what it is. You know, I mean, that's what it is.
He was taking it out on his granddaughters. That's almost unbelievable.
What people don't realize is, you know, like, it's his house of horrors. Like, that's where it all began.
What's wrong with me?
You know what though?
I know when I'm ready for a rest day, so I can be ready for anything tomorrow.
Find out what's wrong with you with Fitbit Sense and Daily Readiness.
Sonia, Regil, and Ariane all run small businesses. They need funding for all kinds of business expenses. Luckily, they can get funding that meets their needs from Biz2Credit. Biz2Credit.
The family were devout Pentecostal Christians, and it was here, at this church in the early 1980s, that Louise met David Turpin. She was barely a teen, and he was in his 20s. But the two fell in love, and as soon as she turned 16, Louise seized an opportunity to escape her recurring nightmare at home by running away with David.
I used to pick on him all the time and joke with him because he was the geek, the nerd, and I was like, well, Louise didn't marry handsome, but she married rich. She gets anything she wants.
In the space of 15 years, David and Louise had 8 children, raising them with military precision and routinely dressing them in uniform clothing. From the outside, the Turpins lived a life of wealth and success. David was a highly paid engineer, and they would fly the family, including brother Billy, to visit them every year.
We thought that she had the perfect life, she had the perfect husband, we thought that she was happy. Anytime they wanted something, they did it, because we always saw pictures of them going to Disneyland or going to Las Vegas.
I promise. I love you tender.
And we're like, well, you kind of have to have money to keep going to Las Vegas. Face to face, I thought they were just a normal, happy family.
It's still unclear why, but in 1998, something changed in the Turpin household. Louise and David completely withdrew, not only from their family, but also from the outside world. They were secretly bankrupt, which meant an end to the yearly holidays. And in the first of many strange signs, they began to homeschool all 8 of their children. Teresa also noticed the kids didn't look quite right.
There was Skype for a while, and we would make comments. I remember making the comment that they were all so little. I remember Louise laughing it off, and, well, they're just going to be tall and lanky like David, But they didn't look severely malnourished. They looked healthy. They just looked small. And I think she clothed them in a way that we couldn't see. And I think when the questions started, she cut off visual contact and just talked to us on the phone.
She was pretty cunning, wasn't she?
Yeah.
But she went out of her way to keep it going.
Yeah, for a long time.
Didn't you think it was strange that she was homeschooling all those kids?
Yeah, and, her excuse to us was, well, the crime rate's always bad, or the kids are getting picked on too much, and I don't like them feeling, down on themselves.
She was committing the biggest crime.
She was doing the worst of it, yeah.
What no one knew then, but we all know now, is this pretense of at-home education was masking abuse behind closed doors.
I don't want to alarm people, the people that are homeschooled, but, maybe we could do a little bit more auditing for situations like that. Maybe we could learn that, hey, why is it that people are homeschooling their kids? Is it because it's best for the kids, or is it because it's best to keep their secrets?
We've been sleeping in there.
Okay, why is this door locked? Okay, can you move that out and open the door?
Sadly, in America, what happened to the Turpin 13 is not an isolated case. J.C. Dugard was 11 years old when in 1991 she was abducted by psychopath Philip Garrido. He repeatedly raped her and held her captive for 18 years.
The hidden backyard had sheds, tents, and outbuildings where JC and the girls spent most of their lives.
Alison Jacobs was the police officer who uncovered Garrido's sadistic crimes and says, just like the Turpins, he got away with the brutality for too long because his victim, JC, became conditioned to her reality.
And it's frustrating as a law enforcement or anyone if the victims aren't asking for help. Because if they're not asking for help or giving any kind of clue that there's something wrong, how is anybody really to know? With the Turpins,
never see in person again. Behind closed doors, their cruelty and severe neglect had well and truly begun to escalate. What did you think?
Thought it was going to be great. Our kids are finally going to have some other kids to play with. We're out in the country. We're by ourselves and lonely, and we thought we were going to have some nice neighbors.
Ricky and Shelley Vineyard and their daughters, Ashley and Barbara, spent a decade living right across this gravel road from the Turpins in Rio Vista. Even with distance separating them, it was clear there was something disturbing about their new neighbours.
It was clear.
Ashley would go over there and play with them. I think that she may have been the only friend that they ever had.
Right. Well, she
All
was
the
a-
other kids would make fun of them because they said they smelled bad, they were dirty, they had weird haircuts, they wore weird clothes.
So at the start, she was allowed to play with them.
Yes, until it got weird. And then I had to pull her back. I had come across the kids out there with Ashley. One of the younger girls looked at the older girl, and then I noticed how white her hands were. At first, I thought they were gloves. And I said, whoa, I thought you had gloves on there for a minute. And she goes, you wash to the wrist or else you're wasting water. And the way she spoke was really, strange, like she might be a little slow.
She was telling you that she'd been told not to wash
Past the wrist,
above the wrist.
or you were wasting water.
When the Turpins came here to rural Texas, they had 8 children. By the time they left, 10 years later, they'd added 4. It was also here that the kids' horrible existence was almost uncovered when the eldest child plucked up the courage to run away. She was picked up a little way down this road by a neighbour, but sadly, due to the extreme malnourishment and her lack of education, everyone simply thought she was mentally challenged and she was returned to her parents.
After that happened, you started seeing the kids outside again during the daylight and in the evenings, and then they'd pull them back in, and then after a couple of weeks, they withdrew them again.
But you two never thought for a moment to pick up the phone and maybe,
absolutely.
Maybe ring someone?
We thought about it, but then again, you're out in the country and you mind your own business, and you figure they want their business kept to themselves also, and you don't realize what you're seeing. Evil is very deceptive. It can look good from a surface if you don't get in there too deep.
By 2010, as David and Louise Turpin's secret perversions were beginning to become more obvious in Texas, they moved across country to California. What they left behind is something Ricky Vineyard will never be able to erase from his memory.
We walked off into the house. Desks were lined up where they had the little homeschool. They had a giant whiteboard, but the house smelled of funk. All of the closets had padlocks. The refrigerators had padlocks. All the cabinets had padlocks. Everything in the house was locked down.
They had brand new bikes sitting on the carport, and they just sat there and rotted. Never got played with.
Yeah, it was like mental torture where you put the toy in front of a child, but you can't play with it.
Were there beds?
Yeah, there were beds. There were bunk beds, but there were ropes on the bunk beds.
Some of them didn't even have mattresses anymore, just looked like the mattresses had rotted.
There were dead cats. While we were wading through this mess, there were rats jumping up. I like to think I'm fairly clean, but man, that right there was disgusting. It was a house of horrors, a true house of horrors. It was right up under our nose, and we didn't see it.
In hindsight, then, you now think you definitely should have told somebody.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, if we saw it again, we'd recognize it for what it is.
What that is, for police officer Alison Jacobs, is a missed opportunity to alert authorities to children in danger.
She should heal. She should move on.
Having saved kidnapping victim J.C. Dugard back in 2009, she believes part of the responsibility lies with neighbours like the Vineyards to raise the alarm if there's any fears or doubts.
It's a fine line, and it's a very difficult gray area. But it all comes back to not ignoring your gut. Humans have great instincts and intuition, and we choose to ignore it. And I don't know why.
Do you feel a bit guilty now?
Absolutely.
Oh yes, yeah.
Absolutely.
People are so afraid to be wrong. If you call on your neighbor because you think something's a little suspicious, and if someone follows up, nothing's wrong. Well, at least you tried. You did your part. That's all you can do is your part.
Coming up, searching for
If there's
reasons
nothing
why.
wrong, there's
You
nothing
reckon
wrong.
they
You go on
found
about your
some
business.
cult?
What else would make you do something like that? That's just pure evil.
But a frantic phone call
Can someone help me?
leads to help at last. Why do you go through all the pain and all the rest to have 13 children and then treat them like that? That's next on 60 Minutes. And had no communication with the outside world. At the same time, Teresa Robinette torturing and abusing your children.
See, that's what I don't get. I knew they were making some wrong choices, but I never in a million years would have thought that it had anything to do with danger to the kids.
In the very early hours of January 14 this year, David and Louise Turpin's 17-year-old daughter finally made a run for it. It was an escape she'd been planning for more than 2 years. She called 911 from a disconnected phone
Can someone help me?
with the extraordinary story that she and all her siblings had been held captive by her parents.
They are abusive, and 2 of my sisters are chained up.
She'd never seen a police officer, didn't know what a hospital or medication was. But her brave act meant finally the 13 prisoners were free.
Neighbors say they are simply in shock.
It seemed that the mother was perplexed as to why we were at that residence.
I literally, was froze to my couch. I could not believe what I was hearing. It was crazy. It was like a whole new family. It wasn't even it was a whole new, everything was a lie. Was my first thought, everything was a lie. All the stories and the conversations and the hours it was all a lie. It was all a lie.
All 13 victims were severely malnourished and mentally underdeveloped. The Turpin's 29-year-old weighed just 37 kilos. The 17-year-old had the IQ of a first grader.
I thought they were isolated. No friends came over. No family came over.
I just can't understand that it went for so long without being recognized.
It's almost hard to believe, but neighbours living just metres away denied any knowledge of the unfathomable conditions those children were living in. For Louisa's brother Billy, that's something too difficult to accept.
Exactly.
I'm disappointed at the neighbors. One which said that they were marching in a circle at nighttime upstairs and they saw them in the window. To me, that seems a little strange right there. I mean, I would at least go knock on the door and be like, is everything okay? There was another neighbor that came forward that said 2 of the older boys were digging in the trash cans at night. So to me, how's that not a red flag?
All your nieces and nephews appear to have been starved, psychologically abused, most certainly, held captive in various ways. Do you think your sister Louise is capable of that sort of stuff?
Exactly, with the so-called aunt. A scary
if found
bitch.
guilty, Louise and David Turpin
Yep,
face
Dolly,
94
I sent
years
you.
in prison for their sick
Why do y'all
crimes.
keep coming in the chat?
Their
Putting that
13
stupid
children,
thing. Hey,
who are
Jacob.
currently in the care of the state, have already been dealt life sentences, dealing with the
Very much
psychological
so. Hey,
and
Soph, how
emotional
you doing, babe?
damage created by their wicked parents. Teresa Robinette and Billy Lambert have only this voicemail from Louise, left just 2 days before her arrest, as the final memory of a sister they now say is dead to them.
All right, Billy. Love you. Bye-bye.
What'd she say?
Why do you go through all the pain and all the rest to have
much. I put
13
too
children
much on.
and then treat them like that?
I have said the same thing. And what makes me so mad is, we would ask her, are you going to have any more kids? Are you done? And she would literally tell us, she wants 20. She don't care if she has 25. She's going to keep having them until God won't give her anymore. And
So we can only be eternally grateful that she didn't have 20.
oh, yeah. Or 14.
Your sister has
Girl, you was there when she had
repeated
4.
the cycle of abuse, hasn't she?
Yes. All the abuse together that she went through, I think made her mind whatever her mind was. I think it destroyed her self-worth and made her think that that was okay, maybe.
What does justice look like for your sister?
In my head, there is no justice for what she's done to those babies. So I really hope they're getting what they deserve in prison, and that's just the way I look at it. I have absolutely no pity.
You happy to throw away the key?
Yeah, absolutely. Let them deal with her in there, and David.
Hello, I'm Liam Bartlett. Thanks for watching. To keep up
Yeah, I listened to all of that. It wasn't a damn thing nowhere. Well, y'all, I can't find it, but it was sad as hell. Hey, Dark Chocolate. I didn't listen to their whole damn video.
Latest from 60 Minutes.
And ain't heard a damn 911 call to save my life. No pun intended. 911 call saved my life. But let me just tell y'all, the 911 call was horrible. Okay, they was asking her, was anybody in the house on medication? She didn't know what medications were. They asked her if she had any injuries. She said, "What are injuries?" She said, "No, not right now." Basically they asked where she hurt. She said, "No, not right now." Um, 3 kids were chained up at the moment. She just let them know. She said, they pull our hair, they throw us across the room. I haven't had a bath in almost a year. She just went through and was talking. The lady stayed on the phone with her until the officer showed up. Now, mind you, at the time, because people are saying there's like a whole lot of time. Yeah, it was, sister. Because actually, they were talking to neighbors from when they stayed in Texas and everything. So it was good information in there, because I didn't even know anything about their, Texas, or I knew that they stayed there, but I didn't know what, any, I hadn't heard any of that. But, so yeah, so the 911 call, they're saying that there's like a lot of time because it was dark when, they first got there, but then it was light by the time they got to the house. So let me just say, when she jumped out the window and on the phone with the 911 and everything, it was morning time. It just wasn't light yet. Okay. So it wasn't like a whole lot of time that had passed. It was just that, like, it was like kind of like more like dawn. And then, as by the time he got there, he talked to her and they went to the house. It was light outside. So they did release body cam footage of when the officers got there, when Luis answered the door, then David came to the door. They're just standing there. They're like, "Well, yeah, you can come in, but we're moving, so it's a mess in here," and all of that. And they didn't care. They just walked past them, at the door, and was like, and just went, found the kids in the rooms. They were trying to hurry up and unchain the kids. By the time they saw that she was missing and everything. And then there was another sibling that followed behind her. One sibling did follow behind her, but they ran back in the house. They ended up going back. So they got scared or whatever, which, with their life, of course, they got scared. But anyway, so one of the other sibling got scared. She kept going. And yeah, she was like, "Shit, I'm out now," or whatever. And again, it was a 17-year-old named Jordan that went out, and she basically said that it was her younger brothers and sisters that were attached. They were just crying, they were just hurting, they were just like, "Please," and like they said, she had been planning this escape for 2 years. She had been wanting to do this. She talked about seeing things on social media and just knowing of a different life, and she just had a light in her. I think, even when you hear her talk, she just really she just knew that there was a different life out there, and she just wanted to know, like, why was their life like this? You know what I'm saying? And so I guess that's one of the good things about social media, I mean, it definitely lit something in her that made her like, look, I want to get the hell up out of here. She would have gotten beat the fuck up for doing my nieces and nephews like that. I'm trying to tell you, like, I mean, it's cool to listen to what she got to say, but I don't even want to hear shit she got to say because it's like, bitch, you was there. You was there in the house with them. So it's just like, and let me just say this too, about before I go into an update on where they are now, because I'm gonna tell y'all like what's going on with them now, currently right here today, because this has been years now since this happened and since they've been rescued and all of that, and there's things that are going on right now today. So hey Regina, love Blake, hey babes. So um, sexual abuse, any type of abuse as a child is, I mean, it fucks with you. And the thing about being people and being individuals is we all are not going to handle things the same way. We're all not going to process things or do things the same way. So it's like, it's, I do understand she was abused as a child. Nobody knows like really what her brain, how things processed in her brain and what type of healing she has done. I don't think any. I just think she pretty much passed her abuse on to the children that she brought into this world. um but I mean, it's just hard because it's like when you're violated in that way as a child, by everybody who's supposed to protect you. You would think that when it's your time to have that position in life, you would go totally opposite. But just like with drugs or anything, you're either going to take on the same behavior or you're probably going to go completely opposite. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not making any excuse for her because I think that she was very much so in her right mind as far as what she was doing. I do think that she's mentally ill, but at the same time, I April, do you have Avon? Does Avon have calendars? You know what? They do. Yeah, I can send you a link. I can send you a link to those. Um write that down. So, I'm not making up any excuse because she was within her right mind. She worked hard to conceal what she was doing to those kids. She worked very hard to conceal what her and her husband was doing to those kids. So with that, because of that reason, I can't give her a pass on anything that she suffered as a child because she was within her right mind enough to cover up some shit and to make her life look one way in front of family and in front of the public versus how it really was. So, she was very much so in her right mind to feed her and her husband properly while she starved those kids. Okay, babe, I will. Um, so yeah, so she was within her right mind enough to conceal her crime. And so I feel like she doesn't deserve any pass at all, period, for anything, you know. But I just feel like as adults, this is why if we're having urges to hurt anybody, children or anybody else, I just feel like you need to get some help before you act on those feelings because it's just not right for you to take your abuse and put it off on somebody else's, because even though it's not right that you were abused, it's damn sure not right, and it's even worse for you to pass it down and hurt somebody else in that same way, or even worse. So when you hear about people who do these things and you hear about their past and the things that they went through or suffered, it is hurtful and it does give you some insight on why they may have made the choices that they made. But at the same time, it doesn't excuse it, because once you're an adult and once you're out here in this world making your own decisions, it's up to you to find that healing and to, not make those same choices. So that's what I got to say about that. And then as far as she had a whole husband that he was supposed to have a good upbringing and everything or whatever. I mean, not as far as his upbringing, but I mean, I don't think I heard anybody say exactly like what his upbringing was, but I didn't hear about him having any abuse or anything like that. So, but even if he did, it's still the same for him. But it's just like if he didn't, which I didn't hear about him having any, it's like why would you support this, or are you just, I mean, obviously he was just as sick, um but why? What was his reason, So, that's just what I feel about that as far as like their abuse and you know any possible sorrow or empathy for them. I just feel like it's a no-go for me. So anyway, now as far as what is going on with them now, take a sip of my lukewarm coffee. They're still being abused right now. They are still being taken advantage of right now at this moment. And it's very, very much so unfortunate. Now, if you don't know, at the time of them being of their story was very public. It was all across the country. People were aware. People, it was all over everybody's news. Everybody's everywhere. Good old GoFundMe, right? Good old GoFundMe. There was $600,000 that was donated to these kids. $600,000. Now there was a 29-year-old in that household, and I forget how many of the siblings um were grown. I forget, but there was a handful that were already adults, and there was and the oldest was 29. Now people will look at her like, she was 29, like this 29-year-old had stopped going to school at third grade level. um she had never been out outside of being with her parents. She had no social life. She didn't cook. She wasn't clean. Just any of the things that you learn growing up and becoming an adult. She did none of that. Even if your parent does everything for you as a child, once you become an adult, even living in the same house with your child, you're still gonna do things, right? Have your own sense of freedom, have a job, go to school, further your education. She did none of these things. So her being 29 years old means nothing. It means nothing because she was not able to do anything or have any of the experiences that you have that comes with that age. So, but anyway, so that was the oldest. Now, $600,000 was collected in donations for these children. And so you have the ones who were adults who were they were awarded like adult caseworkers for them to be able to, just to assist them in, they had like assisted living type things where they were provided housing and, school and skills classes and things like that to, and, just shown different things for them to be able to have the skills of, basic skills of an adult. I think all of them are in school at this point as far as college goes. Um, but number one, their housing was put like in the gutter. So they gave them gutter like right there in the gutter in the trenches, right? Um, the money that was donated, the younger kids, the kids that were still minors, they were pretty much all adopted out. They were put in foster care, and I think all of them are adopted out at this point. And they're supposed to be doing pretty good. They're supposed to be like with a decent family at this time and doing well as far as the younger ones. The older ones were pretty much just thrown out there to fend for themselves. um And that was pretty much how that went. The money that was donated was put in some type of trust fund that is out of the public eye. You can't see it. You can't find out how much is in there. You don't know what's done with it. They don't have it. Is what is the main thing. They don't have it. They are, they have a brother that has been very vocal. He does not wish to be on camera and things like that at this time, but the brother has been vocal as far as him reaching out, him trying to get help, him asking questions, him trying, just he's just been trying to contact people, and they're just not. Anybody that was supposed to be helping them is not helping them. When you go and you ask questions, anybody that has tried to ask questions and get information on the money, their resources, just basic resources, even like just regular resources, like as far as food stamps and things like that, that they were supposed to be assisted with, they won't even give any answers on that. But especially that 600, y'all just blush. That's $600,000. You can't find out where that money is, what happened with it, and what's being done with it, or why can't they access it. Now it was said that um and I can't even think, like, because some of them, I mean, like I said, some of them were already grown. So as far as like the money being there for after they turn 18, that's a crock of shit, because no, a lot of them were already over 18, and there's funds there for them to be able to get things like a vehicle, or clothes, or pay utilities, or pay rent, or um just all of the things that they would all need. There's 13 kids. Like, even if you were going to divide it up between all of them equally and put the younger kids portion into a trust for them to get when they turn 18, the older kids should have been able to get their portion now, so that they can have what they need to be out, to live. um, so as far as their basic, they did give them housing, but the housing is trash. And just any other basic needs that they were supposed to be assisted with, it's very hard to get anybody to help them. And then the money that was donated from the public, that has nothing to do with government assistance or anything else, the courts somehow have, or the city, somebody in the state of California, let me say it like that, has taken over the rights to that money, and is very not answering any questions about it at all. Not to them, not to anybody who asked on their behalf, not anybody. They keep passing it off to other people, or saying, it's being looked into, and all of that type of bullshit. So that is what is going on with them right now at this moment, currently December of 2021. They are being still taken advantage of. They are being given the runaround. And in my opinion, it's been so many years since that money had been donated. It ain't no freaking telling if it's even still there, because who knows how they allocated those funds and where they went, if went anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just don't know. We don't know where it is. And so that's it. The two oldest girls are the ones who have pretty much been speaking. They've done an interview, and they've been public. They're trying to find their way. They're in good spirits. They're optimistic, and that's good. It's just good to see them out here, and just um, you know, they're optimistic that their life is going to be okay. But it's just wrong as hell that all of those years that these kids, all of their life that they've been on the earth, they have been abused and fucked over. So for the people who were so-called supposed to help them be doing the same thing to them, is very much so, it's just not right. It's disturbing, and it's heartbreaking. And I just really hope that I hope that they find out where that money is. I hope that they are given what was meant for them. And I just hope that they just have the best life. The rest of their life is just the best that it could be. And, as good as possible, because they deserve that. As children, you know, we have children. They don't ask to be here. It's the acts of two grown people for the most part, or people who are doing grown stuff, um, that bring these children into the world. And it's just like, if you can't, or if you're not going to be able to, care for them in the way that they should be cared for, then, you know, don't, give them to somebody who will, say something, say you need help, if you need help. Um, but I don't think they wanted help. I don't think David and Louise wanted help. I think that they did set out to do exactly what they wanted to do, and that was to have people to control. There was something about having that control over those kids that made them feel like they were something. And it's just heartbreaking because it's heartbreaking because kids shouldn't just have to go for anything because you're their parent. That they deserve respect too. They deserve respect. They deserve to be heard. They deserve to, if nothing else, have the basic necessities. Food, you know. Who denies somebody food? You shouldn't deny a stranger food, let alone your own child. So there's nothing in the Bible that says a child should be denied food. Actually, it says to feed your neighbor, love your neighbor. Don't bring kids into the world if you can't take care of them. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Thank you, Regina Boo. Every single person involved with assisting them should be in jail. I've been diligently following this case and they've been done absolutely wrong. GoFundMe donations goes to them, period, point blank. That's it. Like, where is their money? Where is their money? Thank you, Chanel babes. Like, I just don't, and I hate that. Damn it. I hate that this is the update. I hate that. It's just sad. It's just sad because they're still being done wrong, even all these years later. It's just sad. Like, they should not still be getting treated like that. Like, it's like, damn, like, what the fuck did they do? They did nothing. They did nothing but be born. You know? Where's my sponge? Damn. Oh, they did nothing but be born. That's it. They didn't do anything to anybody, you know? And it's so crazy because, I'm just happy that they have an innocence about them. They have an innocence about them that is awesome. Jordan, the girl who the sibling who went and made that 911 call, she loves TikTok. And she just wants to have a big house, and she just wants to have a good life, and she just wants a car and a job and just regular shit, you know what I'm saying? And so they're in school now. They're trying to make the best of their situation, but they need help. They need help, y'all, because they're being done wrong. And I am going to try to find a way. There's news outlets, there's media, there's all types of people that have tried to reach out, but I am going to try also to find where the fuck their money is and why they are not being assisted the way that they should have. Because ain't she pretty? I'm like, girl, you are gonna do the damn thing, okay? Like, when she finds her way, it is on and popping. And they're trying. But when she really like, and to hear her speak now versus to hear how she speaks now versus when she was on that call, even though it has been some years now. So I'm just glad to see growth. Dang, my other lip liner is in the car. But I'm just glad to see growth. And is this, what one is this? Dang, this ain't the one I want. But yeah, I'm just glad to see them just out here in the world and making their way. And I think that they are going to do great. I think that they're going to do great. They're trying, like they jumped right out here into the world. Like, here I am. And I'm just happy for that. Yeah, who did this to my lipstick? Like they jumped out here in the world like they ain't miss a beat. And I'm so happy for that. So just shout out to them. As I see new things develop, or if I do get any information on anything new, I'm definitely going to follow up. But this is something, y'all. It's something. It's something. And I'm just proud of them all, all of them. I hope, I'm glad that there were younger ones that may still have, they're younger. So they caught them at a time where they can, probably, they won't be as underdeveloped, hopefully, so, but for the older ones, I'm just so like, I'm so amazed by their optimism and their innocence that they still have, and all of that. So I think they're going to do amazing. I think they're going to do amazing out here. But they need to be given what they deserve. And at the bare minimum, let me just say this. Like, how the fuck you gonna, like, that money was donated from the public. That's not no government anything or nothing like that. That's something that's supposed to have went straight to them. So how are the people who gave the money not even allowed to know what the fuck, where the fuck they money at? Like, it's theirs. They gave it. Like, so who are you to say, like, you know, you're not going to give anybody any updates or give anybody any information on something when it's not yours? Like, it wasn't given to the court. It was given to them. And that's kind of like the problem with donating, to certain causes, because it's like, I'm so like, I would rather just help a person directly. And I know people don't know until like it's over with, or it's like hindsight 2020. But I just think it's so much better to just help people directly these days than to donate to anybody's organization or GoFundMe or anything, because the people that are in charge of collecting money, I mean, it just really, to me, feels like they just don't be about the right shit. You always hear about some shit that somebody done donated or gave, or something that was supposed to go to this place, and it just don't end up where it's supposed to go. So if y'all ever want to donate to anything, just try to find a way to give it directly to who it is it's supposed to help, or buy items instead of, because I mean right now, I mean I'm so sure that if they had a cash app, or had their own stuff in their own name, it would be so much better. Or if some, they had some way for people to send them things, it would just be easier that way, or give information that so you can pay a bill in their name or something. You know what I'm saying? Versus dealing with people and trying to just hope that the shit is going to get to where it's supposed to get to. Like, people just don't have the right intentions anymore. When it comes to a dollar, like, it's just, when it comes to a dollar, people do not have the right intentions, okay? And when you're talking about, I mean, that is over $500,000. Like, that's a lot of fucking money. Okay. That did not get to where the fuck it was supposed to be at. And you can't say like that money wasn't used to pay your social workers. It wasn't used to get them that housing. They qualify for that shit. Like, they qualify for low income, this, that, and the third. They qualify for, so that money that was donated was not supposed to be for any of that shit. Okay. They qualify for certain government shit, and that money was supposed to be extra. So it's just heartbreaking that, you just don't know where they shit is at. Oh, oh, y'all, I done went all up in my eyeball. Y'all, I'm always doing something in my eye. Sometimes you make the ugliest face when you doing something with makeup. I just want to, oh, shoot. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute, y'all. I just wanted to brighten up my under eye just a little bit more. I ain't put on no makeup in so long, y'all. I don't know how to put it on no more. But I love y'all. This is at 2 hours. Jesus. They went harder on Tiger King than they did the parents. Listen, 25 years ain't shit. Them motherfuckers should never be able to get out. Ever, 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 ever. Okay? Like, life sentence. Y'all tried to kill them kids, and it's 13 of them. They gave them a whole bunch of separate, like, little charges and shit, and it just totaled up to be like this amount. Like, they should never see the light of day. They should never be up for probation or parole or none of that shit. Like, hey, Blazing. Never, ever, ever. Do you know whether or not the money they got for doing the interview went directly to them? I don't know. I don't know. Because another thing that hey, Deborah, another thing that happens in like these types of situations is, of course, because vultures come in all, okay, they shapeshifters, okay? So vultures come in all different types of people. So, I'm pretty sure that they have like somebody reaching out to them to be like their management or their agent, or somebody that can set things up for them. And you know what I'm saying? That type of shit. So I'm hoping that the contact that was made went directly to them, and that way whatever money goes directly to them. Because if they have taken anybody on to handle their business or handle these interviews and all of this type of shit, then the money probably going to them, and that's just another person in the way. I hope you had an amazing day, Blazing Babes. By you saying to donate directly to a person or entity made me remember those feed and sponsor a child commercials. Remember, they would show these foreign children that would have flies and hungry, and they still do. They still do. If you got on the right channel or up late enough at night, they still got them damn commercials. They were bogus and stealing all donations and giving whatever. Yep. Yep. You know, they got a story right now that about it's a plumber that found $600,000 in the wall of a church, Lakewood Church or some shit. And he's upset right now because I guess he hasn't heard anything from Joe Osteen, and he's had so many people reaching out to him. And he said the one person that he would like a thank you from, or just, you know, some type of encouragement from, was Joe Osteen himself. And so I guess Joe Osteen, you know, did his Sunday sermon, and he was hoping that it was going to be mentioned in that, but it wasn't. So he done made some contact with the news or somebody, and he spoke on that. So he's feeling like shit. You know what I'm saying? It was a weird situation anyway. Why is there that money in a wall anyway? So there was already some fishy shit going on, but damn, you know, out of everybody that's reaching out, why ain't he reaching out? So I guess he's second guessing that he should have maybe pocketed some of it. I don't know, but you know, it's when it comes to money, you know, it's just it's just like you just never know. And shit, it probably was Joe who had it in the damn wall, as far as I'm damn concerned. That's probably why he ain't said nothing, because he just want to stay out of it, so ain't no eyeballs on him. But eyeballs is on him now, because the plumber is like, shit, like, dang, I can't get a thank you. I can't get like nothing. So, but yeah. Yay, Veronica, you off work. I hope it went well. So yeah, so you know, people, they always trying to collect money. I heard the Susan B. Coleman, what is it? Susan B. Who is it for the breast cancer awareness? Like the biggest breast cancer donation foundation. They say, I heard it was only like they had some type of audit or something a few years ago, and they said it's found that 1% 1% of those donations goes to the actual cause. The other money is like trips and setting things up, and the people that's running it. And you know, they like to disguise things under nonprofit. If you're a nonprofit, if you're listed as a nonprofit or listed as a you know, a church, then that exempts you from paying taxes in your area and to the government. So it exempts you from taxes, but not only that, it just affords you a lot of leeway. Susan B. Coleman, thank you, Ronnie. Thank you so much, babe. And yes, 1% of donations has been found to go to the cause. And when I heard that, and that was years ago, I'm like, fuck no. Like, no. If I give you my $5 or my $10 or my 50 or whatever you give, I don't care what it is. Find a way to give it directly to, you know. In your area, you probably have so many shelters and battered women's and different groups, or somebody, you know, it may be somebody in your neighborhood. It could be your school that your kid goes to, or grandkid, or anywhere. There's somebody that needs something around you. Okay. So give to them, buy for them, you know, if you have something on your heart to do, you know, because giving to like directly to these organizations and stuff like that is, it's nothing nonprofit about it. You have to be making money from somewhere. It's very hard to run a church or run a business, a whole business and all of this shit, and you ain't making no money. None of it. You don't get nothing. You probably get most of it. And you know, the thing about it is, a lot of those things probably start off with the right intentions, you know. Start off, it sound good when they first start off, but shit, people get greedy. Once that shit takes off, once they see that money rolling in, they lifestyle change along with the business growth. And it ain't supposed to. Like, that's not for you. You supposed to be doing this for this reason, you know? That is a very interesting story about the plumber finding envelopes of money in the wall. Yep. Something is definitely not smelling right. One thing is, why is the plumber looking for a shout out? That too. That too. Now I'm definitely not, he ain't gonna skate by and act like now he's second guessing anything, or act, dang, I just wanted to thank you. And I'm just thinking now, I'm just starting to think this and a third. It's just like, look, if you truly was doing whatever, just doing it for the right reason, then you shouldn't think no more about it. After you do something, give something, make a gesture or whatever you do, if you're doing it for the right reasons, you shouldn't be thinking nothing else about it after it's done and over with. Okay. Now, one of the other things that he was talking about is there was supposed to be there was supposed to be a reward. So they had a reward, and I don't know how much the reward was, but initially when the money was found to be missing, so I guess there was a whole situation where I guess this money was reported missing. And this was back, I want to say 2014 or something like that. So there was a reward for this money. And now the statute of limitations have expired for the reward. So he feels like he's just being done wrong. He specifically said, I feel like I'm being punished for doing something, and he just said, I feel like I'm being punished and I'm adding on for doing the right thing. Because now, so I don't know if he knew about the reward already and that's why he gave the money and just didn't touch nothing and gave it because he figured he was getting something anyway, or if once he gave the money then he found out about the reward and now he's like, well, shit, since I'm the one that found it and gave it, then shouldn't I get the reward? And they're like, well, nah, it ain't. No, I ain't going nowhere. I just wanted to come on and tell this story, and just did some makeup while I was talking. The plumber is very suspicious in your opinion. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he had already knew. Okay, Chanel Boo. I don't know if he had knew about the reward already and that's why. So I don't know. But shit. It's like, yeah. He was looking for something, obviously. Like he wants something. He wants something. He want a portion of the money. He wants something. And honestly, once again, nonprofit, church, that money has been written off. And so if it's envelopes of money, so what? So it must be like donations from the, from the congregation. I mean, is that like, because I heard something about checks too. So it's like the money that they get in from, like, that the congregation gave. But once again, write off. So, I mean, on the church's end, it's a come up. And on his end, I guess he feeling like he should be getting he should be getting a piece of the come up. Stop, Regina. He want a piece of the come up too. He said, shit, y'all just came up on all these $600,000. Maybe we should, what's going on with this 600,000? 600,000 to the Turpin kids. 600,000 was found. Maybe that's what's going to be in my bank account in a couple years. I'm going to have 600,000 in my bank account in a minute, y'all. That must be my number. That must be it. That I'm claiming it right now. That's the number in my savings, y'all. That is the number in my savings. Or I'll take it in my checking. One of them accounts going to have 600,000 in it. But yeah. Oh, he going to get something. All right. Ooh. If I was the plumber's wife, I would have been LOL. Shut your mouth. You ain't find nothing. Listen. See. I'm going to say this. Because you hear stories all the time where it be, we found this amount of money. Somebody robbed something and found this, or you should have got your own reward. Okay. You should have just took your 10% right off the top. Ain't that the percentage for the tithes? So you should have took your 10% right off the top, okay? If it was me, it would have been I found $60 in the wall. You play too much. I would have been like, what money, what wall? Listen, because yeah, you ain't gonna report none of it, either all of it or none of it, right? Because they knew how much was missing, allegedly, because they had a reward out for it. So they had a number of what was missing. Again, I don't think it was ever missing. I think it was purposely put there. And I think for whatever reason, let me tell you something. Criminals can be very flighty and dumb. So, and when you're in the business of millions and millions of dollars, 600,000, you could have easily put that away for one reason and forgot about it because you hit this lick over here or something. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, they would have been waiting for that money and reward. Listen, mm-mm. Yeah, I need that 600,000 right now because I need two cars. Okay, my son's car is going through. His car is down and gone at the shop. I ain't driving right now. So yeah, y'all. So I got to get off of here because I have to make some calls and I got to figure out the rest of my week and figure out what's going on because I did stay home today. Um, to figure this shit out, and I thought like I was gonna have a vehicle today or something was gonna be fixed today, but that didn't happen. And I had work that I brought home last night for today, but I didn't did it, so I have to go to work tomorrow. And since his car is down, getting him from school into work and stuff like that during the workday is like costly. He's been doing Lyft for the last couple days, and I got a ride yesterday and then today I stayed home, but I'm gonna have to get a ride tomorrow and get him a ride. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go, but I was planning on coming back for casual conversation, just because I wanted to hit on a couple little things. I think I'm gonna come back on StreamYard for that, but I really wanted to keep this on, the topic as far as the Turpin kids, and then of course we went into some things because of that money situation. But I love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. um we gonna follow any new information, and I am going to be looking up to see what I can find out about how to find where their money is and stuff like that. So we'll keep checking on it and keep up with the story. But yeah, as far as the plumber, he looking for something too. Everybody wants something. And I mean, I'm gonna say this, he did do a good deed. I'll just say this, even if he wasn't looking for anything, let me just say, if he just found it, gave it, and you ain't hear from him no more, right? I think that he should have been given something. And if it wasn't the reward, like from the FBI, it should have been something from the church. It should have been a reward from the church. I'm serious about, he should have got his 10% off the top. It should have been given to him because it was a come up for them. They thought it was gone. It's been gone for years. They didn't went on about their business and are still flourishing. Okay, so it was definitely a blessing for them to get that back. But so for him to just not get nothing, I don't respect that at all. I mean, he didn't even get the 60. If it would have they didn't even give him the 60 instead of him only giving them 60. He just didn't get nothing. So I mean, I do think he should have, because especially I mean, if you're dealing with religion, they want you to believe that you do good things and good things come back, and all of that kind of stuff. So it's just like they just took it and went on about their business. And But I think he do got an ulterior motive. He looking for something or whatever. But I think he should have been given something anyway. But it is what it is. But yeah, so give me I'm gonna say an hour. Just give me an hour. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna just make these couple phone calls and stuff or whatever, see what's going on. And my coworker texted me to update because she was offering a ride and stuff or whatever while I figure this thing out. So I'm gonna reach out back to her and then make these other phone calls and stuff or whatever, and then I'll be back. I love y'all so much. So I got 30 minutes. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Bye. I won't be late. It's 6:30, 7:30, 7:30.